Hello guys, and welcome to episode number 58 of Minnows to Kings back here in San Marino, where today we're just going to be having a end of season review. As you can see on the screen there, it's been a very successful season for us. We'll go through the end of the season review. I'm then going to click forward and we'll go through coefficients and stuff like that once they come up, and we'll show just how much that we have grown over this past season. So let's get going with the review then. It's continued. I don't know why it's continued. We've been given our wage budget there, £69,000, and we've got 8.9 million as a transfer budget. And you can also see that the board are actually building us a new stadium. We've got no information on it yet, but the board have announced plans to build a new stadium in the process of searching for suitable sites. We did also have a takeover here. You may notice that we've got a new chairperson with Gonzalo Taboda. He was actually promoted from within. So we have, it was Paolo Montagna, the previous chairperson. It's now got a new one. No plans to invest any money though, or anything like that. We need to get that end of season review back up because I don't know why it continued. But let's go with it. The signing of the season was Kevin Mousy Martins. 52 appearances with 50 goals and 16 assists. Other notable performance were Jan Goddard, the right wing back. Again, 29 appearances with 21 assists, was absolutely fantastic. Serki Sonogo, he's ended up with 22 goals in 31 games. Later on in the season, I did start playing him as a striker. It is somewhere that he can play. And if we just have a look at him as a poacher, he's actually very, very good. He's also enjoys big matches and is consistent as well, which is good. He's actually done very well as a striker, and that is going to be his position going forward. Josu, not somebody who you've seen playing because I never actually got him registered for Europe. The Brazilian defensive midfielder, again very, very good. Doesn't like the big matches though, which is unfortunate, but he is consistent. But he came in with 31 appearances, 19 goals. It was the penalty taker, and he did actually take free kicks as well. Ended up with 9 assists. Ray Campbell, the centre half, ended up with 10 goals for the season, average rating of 7.96 there. Very, very good. Martins, obviously the star man, 52 games, 50 appearances and 16 goals, ended up with a 7.87. His goals, he ended up with 33 in San Marino in the league, 8 in the cup. We did score 9 in Europe for us, but again, doesn't enjoy big matches. Tudor Mendel Edu came in on loan for the second half of the season from Chelsea. 15 appearances, 9 goals and 8 assists, played very, very well. Massimo Papagno ended up with 17 games, 3 goals, 2 assists. Didn't play a lot of football really for us. Ottaviani was the San Marino player I brought in January to help fill that quota. He's actually done quite well. He's very good for the San Marino level, 21-year-old there. 15 games, 3 appearances, 3 goals, sorry, with 7 assists. Yanis Held was brought in initially as the right fullback, but then we brought Goddard in, and Goddard is the better player, but he still ended up with 8 assists. Sesse had an okay first season. Again, only featured in about half the games, but 7 goals, 5 assists was okay. Jules Meyer was here last season, but it's coming as this season because we bought him this season. He was on loan last season. Hasn't really featured for us. John Ramirez, another centre-back we brought in, again hasn't featured. Sabalas did quite well in the end, scored in half the games that he played, ended up with 9 assists. Brian Dominguez, again, hasn't played. And Pedrini, after he suffered that big injury at the start of the season, again, hasn't really featured for us. In terms of the results, you can see here that we did absolutely smash the league. 28 games played, 28 games won, with a goal difference of 128. I believe we only conceded 3 or 4, not entirely sure, but it was decent. We sold out every game again. Martins with 33 goals. In terms of the Champions League, they expected us to be competitive. Martins got the 5 goals. We were fairly competitive, only losing out to Rangers at the final stage. Also, this is a little bit bugged. You can see here quite clearly that we drew, but it's got it down as a win. Same as the Maccabi Tel Aviv one. But yeah, we succumbed to Rangers in the end, 8-6 on aggregate. It was a fantastic tie. In terms of the European Cup, or the Europa League, again we did very, very well. Got to the group stage courtesy of our Champions Cup qualifying. Got past the group stage as well, beating Genk twice, and drawing with Braga and beating Braga away in Portugal was very, very good. Obviously getting past Benfica as well in the first knockout round was excellent, but back down to earth with a bump there against Arsenal with the 11-2 defeat. San Marino Cup, again, we absolutely smashed that. A 6-0 win in the final was great. Martin's the top scorer in all of the competitions except for the Europa League, which was a Catanella. Moments to remember, where the biggest win was a 9-0 win over Murata. Very, very good there. The match to remember was the 1-1 draw away in Bulgaria against Ludogorets. And goal of the season, I believe this is the second or third time that Kupamazis has won the goal of the season. He likes a nice 25-30 yard screamer. Financially, doing very, very well. The reputation hasn't yet changed, but we haven't ticked over to the new season, which is when I think it does change. Sponsorship, we doubled it basically. Broadcast revenue was down a bit, but corporate was up. Competition prize money, again, we've doubled it. Match day commercial retail was good as well. In terms of shirt sales, Sonogo sold the most, with Martins, Campbell, Cisse and Mazes there as well. How we lined up, I would probably agree with this, except maybe Papigno. Yes, he did play the 17 games, but I would maybe have Brizzy in there. Brizzy, again, performed very, very well for us. And I would also have, although Tomasoni did have a great season, 21 games with 20 goals and 4 assists, I would maybe move Sonogo forward there. But yeah, we played really, really well. In terms of records, we have broken a few. Fans Player of the Season was Kupamazis. He was also the Young Player of the Season, with Martins as the signing of the season. Goal of the season we already know, and top scorer. Kupamazis ended the season with 24 assists and 7 man of the matches there, so fantastic. Jan Godat with the highest average rating at an 8.2, which was great. And Josu with 101 passes completed per 90 minutes was absolutely fantastic. Most overall goals by a player in a season was Martins with 50. Also broke the league record there with 33. That's not just a club record, that's an actual league record as well. Kupamazis with 24 assists. Caruso broke the clean sheet record. He kept 36 clean sheet for us this season. Tomasoni is now the highest scorer at the club with 67 goals. This is league goals, I believe. It is league goals. Martins is not that far behind him though. Highest transfer fee paid, we paid £137,000 for John Ramirez. And we received 6 for Ntube, which is a record. That's history in the making again. That's now 5 years in a row that we've done the double, which is absolutely fantastic. As I said, we have got a new chairman. We are looking to build a new stadium. I am going to click forward now till the season ticks over. We'll have a look at how our reputation and stuff like that's changed. And I'll see you guys in a minute just for that. Just quickly in the middle of the episode there, guys, I'm still waiting for the coefficients and stuff like that to change, but we've got the Europa League review here. You can see that Cosmos were the biggest overachievements. We thrilled everyone with our performance in reaching the second knockout round before losing to the eventual champions. As you can see there, Arsenal won. They actually beat Newcastle in the final. So I'm very, very pleased with our performance in the Europa League. Of course, we need to improve on it next season. Hopefully when the season ticks over and we do get some higher reputation, we'll be able to bring some more players in. I'm going to keep clicking forward and I'll catch up with you guys in a minute. I'm back again. We still haven't got there yet, but it's brought up the Champions League review now, and we were also the biggest overachievers in this. Another competition to remember where we thrilled everyone, reaching the playoff path where we lost to Rangers. Again, the winners were Tottenham Hotspur, believe it or not, beat Man United in the final, so it's an all-English European whitewash, really. Yeah, just wanted to show you that as well. So I'll see you guys in a minute. Right guys, welcome back. We've finally got here. I've clicked through about 2 weeks. European competition rankings announced that the San Marino League has moved up 16 places to 129th in the competition ranking list. So not a big improvement, but it is still an improvement. Let's scroll all the way down to 129th. We are at 1 star. We are pretty much on par with the Swedish second division and the League 2 in Scotland. French National 3, that sort of area. So we've still got a long way to go in terms of that before we're anywhere near any of the big boys. We're below the Gibraltar National League, which is just how far down we are. But we have improved it. It took a couple of seasons for that one to get going, if you remember. Cosmos have risen up the European club rankings. We've gone up 39 places. We now find ourselves in 67th, which is absolutely fantastic. Let's have a look at whereabouts that puts us. We're on the par with Celtic and Stuttgart. This is in terms of coefficients, of course. We now have a coefficient of 32.5, which is great. We're still above some of the teams here as well, Eintracht Frankfurt and AZ. This is what will happen next season, I believe. But you know, just in terms of the teams that we're above now, Dinamo, Celtic, Ludogorets, who we played last season. We're up here with some Championship level clubs. Everton, Premier League club. I believe they're still in the Premier League, are they? No, they've just been relegated. Actually, Everton have just been relegated. But you know, we're above Marseille now in terms. Oh no, we're not. No, we're not. It's reset. We're not above Marseille. We are above Everton though. Got that one right. So we're getting up there above a lot of the English clubs. Who, obviously, they don't really play in Europe. To be fair, a lot of these clubs. But yeah, that's a really good rise. That's awesome. That's obviously how we are seeded in Europe. So currently 67th, which is great. We're getting there with homegrown players. We're not enough yet, to be fair. But San Marino rise up the European coefficients table. We've moved up 9 places to 30th now, which means we get in not next season, the season after, we get 2 Euro Cup places. We get second qualifying round with 2 teams. It was 0, and first qualifying round 1 now. 30th places. We've San Marino in 30th. Again, look, we're above some of these other nations. We're sort of Cyprus, Bosnia level now. Republic of Ireland. We're getting there, you know, slowly we're getting there. In terms of what that looks like for qualification places here, you can see that we will be going into the first qualifying round like we did last season, but we now get 2 in the Conference League, second qualifying rounds, and we get 1 in the first qualifying round. So that's 4 teams in Europe again this season, but 2 of them at a slightly later stage, which again is going to help coefficients wise. And this is who we've been drawing against. We've been drawing against Arat Armenia Yevren, who I believe are going to be an Armenian team. They certainly are. It's definitely a team that we should be beating. I can't see them. Attribute masking is something that I'm not going to use again. In terms of content, doesn't really work, to be fair. If any of you watch my Grassroots to Giants series over in England with Norton, I don't use attribute masking. It just makes it a much more enjoyable experience for the viewer. We do have the next draw as well. It'll either be Cosmos or Arat Armenia against Dinamo Minsk or Doulange. We've already beaten Doulange before. Dinamo Minsk, not quite sure about. But yeah, that's obviously, I believe that we should get through that quite comfortably and into at least the third qualifying round, where all of these teams come in. How do we look in terms of seedings, by the way, in this? It's not going to show. Oh, that's the preliminaries. It's not going to show us the seedings, is it? Because it's already been drawn. But yeah, that's it, guys. That is going to draw a close to season 6 here in San Marino. We've got our competition rankings. It still hasn't ticked over to the next season, so I still don't have the reputation boost, but you can see that we're now valued at 74 million. Training facilities are good. They're currently in the process of being improved as well. Youth facilities are average still, but they are also being improved. In terms of youth recruitment, we're at superb. So maybe we could start getting some better youth players through. Yeah, maybe I just want to quickly go over the squad as well as part of the end of season review. Have a look. Martin's played the most game for us. Caruso played 49. I did bring Reece Fry in for a couple of games towards the end of the season. The rest of the appearances were spread out quite nicely across the squad. In terms of goals, it was Martins, Sanogo and Tomasoni, the top scorers. Josu from defensive midfield almost bagged himself 20. Coop Mazes 18. And then again, spread out quite nicely throughout the team. Assist-wise, it was Coop Mazes, Jan Goddard and Martins. So an excellent season for Martins there. Benoit also chipped in with 14 assists. Sanogo with 12 himself. In terms of average rating, it was Jan Goddard with an 8.16. Transfer values have risen a little bit thanks to our rise in rep. Ignore these two, they're on loan from Inter, so theirs are going to be high anyway. But yeah, the transfer values have risen a little bit. Coop Mazes 30k to 120k, that's similar to what he was priced at last season. And I am expecting some Australian clubs to come back into it for him again. We may, if we can get some decent money for him, we may let him go. He's at the point now where he is not the star man in the squad. His consistency, I don't like either, but he is resolute, which is good. And he is still a good midfielder for us. But there's better options now. We have got better options now. And once the season ticks over, I will look to bring some better options in again. If we just have a look at the type of player that we can bring in now, in Cisse. Cisse's better in some areas, Cooper's better in others. But yeah, we might look, like I said, to get move Cooper on, depending on what we can bring in, of course. But as always, guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed season 6 and this little review that we've done. Looking forward to what's to come in season 7. I've got £9 million to spend, but we saw last season that I couldn't spend the £3 million that I had. I'm interested to see what the board are going to do with the new stadium, whether we get any plans for that anytime soon. But yeah, if you have liked it, guys, please hit that thumbs up button. It helps me out massively, as you all know. And I've been Dean, and I'll catch you all next time for season 7.